Learn smart, be wise. Learn with Sudeep Tech Learning. Press the red button to subscribe. Like the video, share the video with friends and family.
Hello everyone, welcome to the SSC Science chapter wise important topic series. Now this is the part 5. We have already covered the other part. You can watch it from the I box, and also I have given the link in the description box there. You can watch from there also. So today in this part 5 we are going to discuss on the chapter that is low marks you have for this chapter, but it's a very easy and scoring chapter. It's a sources of energy. Now as I always start with the chapter with explaining the name of the chapter, so in this video also we'll start by doing the same thing. What is the name of the chapter suggest you? Sources of energy. First thing, let's see the first word, sources. What is the meaning of sources? Sources means something where something gets started or something gets initiated, you say. So whatever thing is getting started somewhere, we call it that thing as a source. Now we are studying in this chapter sources of energy. What is energy? Energy is something that gives you some, for example, heat is a kind of energy. Okay, we get energy from it. So we'll study sources of energy, from where this energy is coming. We use energy like light, we use fuel energy, where this is coming from. So we'll study all of this in this chapter. First thing, example of sources of energy, we'll see. Wood, wood is a nice example of energy. It is anciently used. Wood is an ancient example of source of energy. The oldest people used to use wood as the source of energy. We have coal, we have petroleum, diesel, kerosene. Okay, all these are some of the examples of sources of energy. So at the start of the chapter only I am giving you some visuals so that you all understand what actually is the lesson going to deal about. Okay, second thing, if you know, sun is known as the ultimate source of energy. The about 99% of energy on earth that we get is from the sun, and it is known as the ultimate source of energy. Okay, this is the important point that you have to know. Now energy, this is a famous law you have already studied in 9th standard. I suggest energy can neither be created nor be lost. It can be only converted from one form to another. Now this energy which is there, it cannot be, we cannot create energy. Whatever energy is already there present, it is there. It will never get lost also, and we cannot create a new amount of energy. It can be only converted from one form to another. If energy is there here, we can convert it into some other form. It will never get lost, or we cannot create some new energy from by ourselves. Okay, that is what it says. Now the total energy during a physical or a chemical process remains the same. Now this is what actually the meaning of the previous line, I would say, that total energy, if you have some energy, that is a total energy during any, if it's a physical process, or even if it is a chemical process, the total energy will always remain the same. That is what it says, that it cannot be created. We cannot create energy. Whatever the total energy that we'll get, it will always be the same. Okay, next part that we have to know is characteristics of a good source of energy. Now whenever we buy something or we want something, we always want something good. Okay, we will never go to buy or take something which is bad for us. Okay, we'll always look for good. So while choosing energy also, we look at some good things in it. So for that, what are some good characteristics of a good source of energy, that we'll have to study. First thing, that it should be easily accessible. What is the meaning of easily accessible? It is accessible means it should be easily available. If you want it now, it should be available there. If it is not available, how can it be a good source of energy? For example, the examples that we have used, for example, wood is a very good source of energy because it is available everywhere. There are trees, we can use wood from there. Even coal, there is abundant source of coal. However, it is a non-renewable source, but at present it is in abundance, so it is a good source of energy, you can call it. Okay, second point, it should be economical. Not that it is available everywhere, but it should be affordable. Everyone should be able to buy it. Fuel is very important, energy is important. If we don't have enough money to buy it, it cannot be a good source for any person. Okay, so it should be economical also. Third thing, it should be doing a large amount of work per unit mass or volume. If you have 10 kg of coal and it is not giving you enough amount of energy that you have, then it is not a good source. But if you have just 1 kg of wood, say suppose, and it is giving you abundance of energy, then that becomes a good source of energy. Now you understand the difference between this, how it is doing a large amount of work per unit mass. Unit mass means what? You have say 1 kg, and for that 1 kg, if something is giving you uh, n number of works, it is giving you a lot of energy, and there is another form of energy, another source of energy which is giving you very less amount for that 1 kg. That means that second thing which we have taken is not that sufficient to be called as a good source of energy. The first one is a good source of energy. Secondly, last thing is, it should be easy to store and transport. Okay, it should be very easy to store also, because if you want something to be good and if you want to keep it in abundance, we need to have enough amount of storage facilities also. If you want to take it from one place to another, there should be proper transportation facilities available for that particular source. For example, if you take wood, it can be stored. Okay, it is easy to store wood. While coal, you cannot store it very, there are not good storage facilities for coal. So if you compare these two, wood becomes more good source of energy. Now I'm not saying that, giving these two examples just as a, because they are here. The in a large perspective, when we see, there is a big meaning for it. Okay, so you have to know this whenever this question can come for you. A good source of energy, these 4 points you need to remember. Okay, moving forward, let's see. Now if you see in this, the fossil fuels which are there, they are finding they are most commonly used nowadays. Okay, these are non-renewable, okay, and they need to be conserved. These fossil fuels are most commonly used, but they are non-renewable and we need to conserve them. But there are many disadvantages of using these fossil fuels. Now firstly, they are causing a huge amount of air pollution. If you must be knowing this, that fossil fuels, after they burn, they give out a lots amount of unwanted materials from them, and this create a lot of air pollution. They release acidic oxides, okay, responsible for acid rain. Now this, we will discuss this in detail when we are going to study about acid rain, but now I will tell you, acidic oxides are there which are released when these fossil fuels are burned. Okay, so it indirectly, which is that it is responsible for the greenhouse effect. Okay, and greenhouse effect, then it becomes more serious when it deals with the global warming and the melting of the glaciers and all. Okay, so fossil fuels, there are many disadvantages of using this. Moving forward, fossil fuels are burned to produce electricity. Now how this electricity, how this is related to sources of energy, how fossil is related to sources of energy, we will see that here. Now electricity is produced through these fossil fuels in something called as the thermal power plants. Now what is this thermal power plant? And the name only it suggests. See, thermal means what? Thermal means heat. Power plants means it is generating the power, it is generating electricity. So with the help of these fossil fuels which are there, they are burnt and they are producing this thermal power plant which is producing the electricity. Now transmission of electricity is easier than transporting coal. Okay, hence these thermal power plants which are there, they are set up near the coal mines only. Now when this fossil fuel like coal, okay, it is very difficult to transport this coal from that area and take it to a factory and then process it and make electricity out of it. And so what is done is that these thermal power plants which are there, they are only set up near the coal mines itself. Okay, so that what happens is, for that what they require is this electricity. Why electricity is required? For work and all, whatever thing it is required. So this electricity, transmission of electricity becomes very easy than transporting of coal. It is very difficult. Okay, so this question comes mostly for a give reason, and most of the time this is asked for the board exam, for the board paper. This is a very important question. Thermal power plants are set up near the coal mines. You are asked give reason, or it is asked why thermal power plants are. to, so this is a reason type questions and give a scientific reason type question. Your answer is very simple. You have to just state this line: the transmission of electricity is easier than transporting coal. Okay, and that is done. You are done with the answer. Now next thing is hydropower plants. What is hydropower? Hydro means related to water. So by the potential energy created by the falling of water, electricity is generated. Okay, and how it is done? Now this type of hydropower plant or this water energy that we are using, it is a renewable source of energy. That means can be replenished, it can be reused. Okay, now the dams which are there, these are built to serve these hydropower plants. Now in order to create the potential energy so that it can be falling down from a very big high height to down, and then the motors can process this, dams are built. Okay, now I'll show you a picture of dams that I have here. See this, you can see here, these are raised hut. So this area, you can see this area. Now this is all dam belt. This is the area where water is stored in the dams. Okay, and now here you see this area was the water save, and this is now water flowing down. So a potential energy is created when this water is falling from this height towards the down. Okay, and so here somewhere the motors will be placed. So when this water falls down, these stands the motors to rotate, and when these motors get rotated, electricity is generated. Okay, so in this way these dams serve as hydropower plants. Okay, now these dams are created, but building these dams have many problems. Okay, there are many n number of problems are there building this dam. Firstly, large amount of ecosystem which is there, it gets destroyed. Okay, you have to build a dam, and you cannot build a small dam, it requires a very large area. So when you build such a large infrastructure, you have to go out with the large ecosystem getting destroyed. Second thing, large areas of human settlements and agricultural land get submerged. Now in order to build such a big thing, you have to let go some things like human settlements. There are a lot of problems created for these things, and even agricultural lands which is there, you have to give them up, and they all get submerged. What is the meaning of submerged? Submerged means they go underwater. So the dam comes up there, and this all goes underwater. Now lots of problems are created on rehabilitation or process of displaced people. What is this rehabilitation? Rehabilitation means when if you are living in an area and suppose that area is projected to build a dam, then you have to be rehabilitated from there. So you have to displace from there, you have to leave that area, and you have to be given some other land. Okay, now if that other land is not suitable for you, don't have enough amount of facilities in the new area where you have, so this is called what is the rehabilitation. So a lot of problems are created during the rehabilitation process also. Last thing, vegetation gets rotten and methane gas is produced. Now whenever these big dams are produced, underneath them are the whatever the vegetation which was there, it gets covered up with water. So what happens is that underneath it, this vegetation gets rotten up, and when something gets rotten up, we will study that when we are going to see biogas and all, that methane gas is produced with the anaerobic type of respiration which is there. Methane gas is produced by the methanogens, this anaerobic bacteria, they produce this, and this is responsible for the greenhouse effect. So it leads to global warming also. So this problems, environment related problems, lots of problems are there while building dams. So it is a renewable source of energy, but due to these problems, very few number of dams are there in India. Okay, and around the globe also. So yes, in this lesson we are going to continue this lesson in the next video, because if I do a whole lesson in one video only, it becomes a too big lesson, and so to make it short, I have decided to keep the next part in the next video. So to get that, if you like this video, just put a like button and share with all your friends. If you have any doubts, you can obviously comment them, and if you want a PDF of this, you can always email me. I have given my email in the description. You can email me that, I will give you notes, and also subscribe to my channel for more videos. For next part, you have to subscribe to my channel, and it will be coming soon. So until then,